Story 1. The Man Under the Bed. When I was a child, I had the one bedroom in the house that wasn't on the second floor. My parents' house was a split-level home, meaning when you entered there were two sets of stairs, one leading up to the second floor and one leading down to the first floor. The downstairs level had the den, garage, my bedroom, and a bathroom, while the other 3 bedrooms were all upstairs. Since I was the oldest and the only boy in the house with 2 sisters, I got the room downstairs because it was the largest and coolest. When I outgrew my twin bed, my parents gave it to my younger sister, and I got a full-size bed instead. The room was spacious enough to accommodate the larger bed with ease. At around 13, I began waking up in the middle of the night for no apparent reason. It was the middle of summer, and I had a fan running to keep cool and provide white noise. One night, I woke up feeling thirsty and decided to refill my water glass. As I was filling it in the bathroom just outside my room, I thought I heard a noise coming from my bedroom. I turned off the faucet and listened intently, but all I heard was the fan. Despite feeling a bit uneasy, I decided to sleep on the couch in the living room upstairs. That same night, I woke up again to sounds coming from the kitchen. I saw the light from the fridge and heard someone rummaging through it. Too tired to check, I went back to sleep. The next day, my mom told me my room smelled bad and that I needed to clean it. I didn't notice any smell and ignored her advice. That night, with the air conditioning on, I fell asleep without the fan. Again, I woke up to an unfamiliar noise. I heard breathing that wasn't mine. Searching the room, I checked the closet and finally looked under the bed. To my horror, I found a large man lying on a pile of blankets under my bed. Panicked, I screamed for my dad. He rushed in, dragged the man out, and called the police. The man was homeless and likely didn't stay in jail for long. This incident left me deeply traumatized. I ended up sleeping with my parents for a while, and we installed security cameras around the house. The fear of someone hiding under my bed lingered with me for years. Story 2. The Haunting in the Woods. My great-grandfather, who is now very old, often shares stories from his time in the Soviet Union during World War II. After the Battle of Ilikaluki, which resulted in heavy casualties despite not being a major battle, he and his comrades were celebrating in one of the few undamaged houses. 2 soldiers they disliked entered, prompting him and his friend Sergei to step outside for a smoke. After finishing their cigarettes, they heard a scream from the woods. Fearing it was a comrade in trouble, they quickly grabbed their guns and gathered more soldiers to search the area. The deeper they went into the woods, the more dread they felt. They eventually split into pairs to cover more ground. My great-grandfather and Sergei soon found a disturbing scene. 2 German soldiers, one dead and one alive, both horribly mutilated. The living soldier was crying and terrified, muttering in German. Sergei, seeing the man suffering, decided to put him out of his misery with a single shot to the head. Immediately after, they heard moaning noises and saw a tall figure running away in the darkness. They fired in its direction but hit nothing. The incident was reported but never investigated further. The memory of that night, the mutilated bodies, and the mysterious figure still haunt my great-grandfather. Story 3. The Backyard Intruder. When my fiancée Morgan and I moved into our new house, we met some of our neighbors, including an older couple. One evening, while Morgan was cooking and I was browsing for area rugs on my laptop, I noticed a man sitting in our backyard chair. Startled, I whispered to Morgan, who joined me in watching the stranger. We debated what to do, finally deciding I should knock on the glass and tell him to leave. The man turned around, grinned, and walked up to the glass door, making crude comments about Morgan. I threatened to call the police, and he eventually left, but we heard him again later that night. The police arrived but found nothing. The next day, we knocked on our neighbors' doors to introduce ourselves and ask if anyone knew the man. We learned he had a history of violence and lived nearby. Despite reporting him, we couldn't press charges without video evidence. Fortunately, we haven't seen him since, and we hope it stays that way.